main desk you can leave like really tidy.
Exactly.
And
That's
clean.
that's the plan. So coming in here, guys, in the bottom right, it is of course going to be Root's Hero. Great series to wrap things off of.
His opponent in the top left, representing Storm Gaming, Gumiho. Keen to see him play again. It's always an absolute fun time watching Gumiho. He's a very aggressive Terran player. I love how he makes these Hellions work. I don't know if we'll see them against Protoss. Can be a bit trickier, but this is a really good map for Hellions. There's a lot of harass paths. It's pretty big as well. I think they can do some damage there. Do you think he'll go Hellions against Protoss?
A Hellion drop is definitely not out of the picture, and even like a Marine drop with 2 or 4 Hellions rolling in towards the natural could definitely be a thing. We have seen it in the past. Even to a certain degree, Banshees, even though when Protoss opens Stargate, which we see like 9%...
Oh!
Whoa.
Tenchi! You seeing this?
Oh,
That's a
okay.
Proxy Cyclone? Or is that a...
Yeah, Proxy Widowmine or Proxy Cyclone. I'm hoping it's going to be... I don't know what's better. What do you think is better here? Versus Hero?
I'd say if he has a follow-up of barracks units, then get a bunker and go for a Cyclone. We see him actually sending out a Marine, or is he just he's patrolling? Okay, so maybe
Yeah,
it's the Widowmine then.
What he wants to do, he wants to deny any sort of scouting here from Hero so that he doesn't see the timing of this command center go down. Wow, this is so audacious here by Gumiho. He doesn't have the gas yet for a Cyclone, so it is going to be the Widowmine. Yeah, should squeeze out a couple of this one. Huh. So most importantly now is going to be what Hero decides to do. Like, where is he going to go? Is it going to be a Robo or a Stargate? He goes for the Robo, which is a good start for him here, which means that he will have access to those observers eventually. Now coming through, you can see that it is within vision range, so he knows that there are going to be Widowmines coming out. He's trying to block things here as best he can. Mothership Core will soak
actually
that.
gets hit. Oh, that's so low.
Oh, this is so smart by Gumiho, moving these Widowmines. You want to spread them as best you can. Photon overcharge to take one down. Okay, that was a good reaction there from Hero.
But doesn't have enough energy for the second overcharge. And next Widowmine is coming out shortly. But there's just going to be a Stalker there as well, so
yeah, I don't think
better burrow it here.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be forced to do that, which again is going to negate this. No economical damage done.
Ooh, will he go for the Mothership Core? He's going to lose it. Is there a follow-up here? There's a handful of Marines.
Yeah, I don't think that Gumiho can attack just yet. You can see he's now setting up his second barracks, Tech Lab coming down. So he's going to just transition out into standard play from here. Go into Stim, get a couple of medevacs. Very unfortunate there. I guess getting the Mothership Core is like a good consolation prize. But it's most certainly not the damage that he was hoping to get done with this proxy.
Not done just yet. Gonna get... Oh no, it actually detonates there. Observer was there anyway, so he wasn't going to get a third volley off. And he's just going for a lot of Marines here with the starport. Now the biggest weakness of not having this factory is he doesn't have a reactor for the starport. Had the factory been in his base, if it was a normal game, you would see the starport take the reactor, and then you would have enough. You would have two medevacs. You'd have a lot of Marines. You can do a double drop, but because he went for that, only has one medevac available to go for a drop initially. The factory is making its way back home.
Yeah, but it's got a long journey ahead of it. Not going to get there for quite some time, man. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's actually a really important thing to bring up here, because it would have meant that we could have seen Gumiho be a lot more aggressive, but it is instead just going to be a single drop, which most definitely isn't as potent as having 2 medevacs worth of Marines with Stim in your main base. Behind everything, after this great deflection, Hero now going for double forge, 1-1 on the way. Blink as well can be used both defensively and offensively, and I really like it that he's going for the double forge, because having the 1-1 advantage and then that will go into a 2-2 advantage into mid game. You can just crush your Terran opponent if they, you know, prioritize additional infrastructure over having the upgrades. You know, 2-2 charge zealots will just completely annihilate +1 Marines.
The drop is spotted by this observer. Stalker's moving in to intercept. There's no stim just yet, so I think he wants to wait for the stim, but in doing so, he's giving more time for Hero to prepare for this.
Stim is done in about 10 seconds here. Blink another 30 seconds or so to go. So he's not going to be able to utilize that just yet, but still, like you pointed out, he's got the units ready, and I'm not really expecting him to take too much damage from this. Stim now done. Third base coming down here for Hero as well. Does get spotted out. Gumiho is just waiting here. This is actually very smart now, because he wants to make sure that he has enough units to come across to hit the third base location, pull out the units of the main to go up there to respond to that attack, and then he can start turning this mineral line into shreds.
Oh, this is so sick. The army is really out of position. Everything is in the main or the natural. Nothing's defending this third.
Oh,
it is actually scouted by an adept though on the tower. And now the main is completely undefended.
Yeah, but there's an observer here for Hero. Do you think he spotted this medevac? Does he know?
I mean, he currently can see it. If you look at his vision, he sees it there, but maybe he wasn't watching. I don't know, he must. Surely he would have some stalkers back home, or at least he's waiting for a warp in. Mothership core also in the main. I think that's it. He's got the mothership core there. He's got 2 pylons in a great position. So he should be defended, well prepared for this one. They're going for the third base now. Already has the Guardian Shield. Looking forward, maybe not a bad decision. Maybe a bad decision there.
Yeah, he needs to fight on the Guardian Shield, because mind you, fighting away from that pylon means that he can't really warp in additionally. Photon Overcharge, like you pointed out, Mothership Core there for the defense. Immortal pops, the Stalkers do get warped in. As Charge is about halfway done. Linking forward, might be able to gun down this medevac. Would be a very nice pickoff, just barely gets away there, 9 HP in total. At the same time, they will commit towards this engagement around the third base, and you know that Stalkers are very brittle. Even with 1-1 upgrades, you can't challenge the authority of Medevac Marine Marauder straight up like that. He needs to be a little bit more careful with his army, as it is primarily Stalkers at this point.
Well, the sentries were taken down, so no more force fields, no more Guardian Shield.
Oh!
Will be a warp in onto this third base, which actually blinks forward. He'll be cleaning up the rest of this bio, but at a pretty big cost. The Marauder's very effective versus those Stalkers. Yeah,
look at Hero's supply here. He's behind in probes as well. Gumiho, even defending this Warp Prism drop very nicely. Charge now done. Another Stalker warp in. I mean, there's not too much here for Gumiho, actually, if you just look at his standing army. At least not down here. Shaving off these 2 Marauders is going to be very nice. If he could gun down this command center, that would be very sick.
Core went down. There's a nasty bio run by. There's no probes on the third base, though, but the CC's getting so low, does get taken out.
Okay, so...
Play there by Hero.
Yeah, he needs to come back here and defend this Nexus ASAP. Gumiho now stimming again, focusing down this Nexus. There's no warp in here in the natural to send Zealots up there. He might actually end up gunning down this third base of Hero. It's getting lower and lower. Half HP remaining. Stalkers coming in. And you can see Gumiho starting to move around. He's trying to get it. The Stalkers will get on top of the Marines and he will keep it alive. Only 1/4 of its HP remaining. Gumiho losing the third base though. Not feeling very happy about that one. He's remaking the third command center. But Hero holding on to the third base of his own. Stabilizing on his side of things. So far, I think he's in a much better position than he initially found himself in.
Yeah, this is turning into a really tense game. Look how many Marauders there are in this army. Marauders are so good versus the buildings. That Nexus will get destroyed in the blink of an eye if Gumiho gets in position. The War Prism will be spotted by double Liberator. There's 3 Zealots there. Actually, there's a lot of Liberators now. There's 4 on the field. Zealots do get cleaned up. Can't delay that third base. So, is he going to wait until he has all these Liberators, start sieging towards that third base, and then just take it out? That'd be a great play to make.
Yeah, it certainly would. But with so many Blink Stalkers on the field, it's going to be a little bit harder than what you generally see. A lot of the time, I find that Protoss don't actually rely so heavily on Blink Stalkers as their prime composition like this. But it's very cool. You know, Hero's been doing this a lot. And he's definitely someone who's very competent with it. He's had a lot of practice with it, you can tell. So it's all about finding the right engagements, forcing those Liberators to siege and unsiege, let the ground army deal with the Marines and the Marauders, and then if you can just fight away from the Liberator death zones, then the Stalkers can still be very powerful because you can, you know, keep blinking them back and forward, especially so with 2/2 upgrades finishing here for Protoss. The only thing that I would love to see in this composition would be that he adds in more Charge Zealots, because that's what the upgrades really scale well with.
Hero does see all of these Liberators. Is he going for Tempest? He's going for Dark Shrine.
And a
Doesn't
tempo
look like-
archive.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of
Well-
gas banked up though. Could see some Archons into the mix. I would like that as well. Like Archon Zealot Immortal, very strong versus a ground army.
Yeah, Archon's very good versus the Marauders, and there's a lot of Marauders here. Of course, the Marauders not getting the bonus damage versus those Archons, and Archons do splash damage in response, so it's a great unit. The Archon,
Oh,
of course.
look at that. He spots it out. He sees the DTs.
There's no turret. They're actually putting a turret now on the third base. Does have doesn't have a scan ready. Oh yeah, it does now. There we go. But
Only a single SCV. Dies there. Okay,
back.
yeah, that's a little bit of a bold stim, but at the same time, I don't really mind it. Actually, thinking about it, you can see that he doesn't want to keep the medvacs at full HP because then he can just get one-shotted by feedback, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's like one thing to keep in mind.
So that fourth base being thrown down by Hero, it was very vulnerable there. Gumiho having a bigger supply, a much bigger army. He could have taken that one out, but of course the DT run by it didn't achieve anything on the surface, but it did make Gumiho pull his army back, and now he's playing a bit more defensively, knowing that the DT pressure is always a threat. And Hero being able to get this fourth base completed, having some pylons there, even throwing down some cannons.
This Zealot drop, killing a few add-ons, which is nice to just pick up there, get out of there with 3 of them. Storm, soon going to be finished up here as well, together with 3 upgrades. Psystorm's Gumiho has caught up now in 2-2. But once 3-3 hits the field, this is where Hero is going to experience a brutal power spike. Yeah, don't walk up this ramp. Do not walk up this ramp.
Do it, Hero. Firing some pot shots. This is a big army from Gumiho. He's maxed out. Hero is not. He needs to max out. He actually blinks forward onto the Liberators. Picks up a couple of the Storms as well. Achieved too much there though, and he's lost a couple of Templar and all of his energy. Even the force fields go down. Hero is left with only Stalkers in this army.
Yeah, and he's warping in more Stalkers. I do not like this at all. He needs a lot more Storms. He needs more Zealots to blanket this in something that doesn't just outright die to the Marauder. Walking into the death zones again here of the Liberator. Great Storms on the right hand side. Oh my god, he's actually doing so much damage, but there are so many Marauders present. I don't think it's going to be enough here for Hero. Gumiho is just overpowering him. The Liberators are still in the skies. A few Zealots coming in from the back actually with DTs will kill a lot of the ground army, but with the Liberators still here, he can keep rallying across the map. And wow, okay, wow. Hero somehow manages to turn that engagement around. Gumiho is still way up in supply though.
He picked off a few Liberators, and I love how he blinked out of the Liberation zones. Some fantastic Storms. I think maybe Gumiho got a little bit overconfident there, seeing how good that fight was for him, and just took those Storms. But still, the game pretty much being reset. Still a bigger supply lead for Gumiho, but we're back to macroing. There's a 5th base here for Hero and a 4th base for Gumiho.
Yeah, but mine's so... Hero as well has a 4th place up in mining. But his composition is pretty much reset, like you said. And the issue is going to be that for Terran, it's a little bit easier to replace the Marines and the Marauders. He's also retained a fair amount of these medevacs. He brought them back home, most of them, and kept them repaired. Even the Liberators that made it out of that engagement maxed out yet again.
Okay, dropping up to the north, wants to try and do a run by on this 4th base, and pressuring up towards the 5th. So I like this. A lot of Marauders here too, so again, they can destroy buildings quite quickly. Pylons get taken out. The Mothership Core wasn't enough to hold it, and all the probes actually attack the bio. So many probes are going down. DT gets taken out as well here. Finally, the army rejoins, but meanwhile, the 5th base bit of action there, but DTs were able to clean it up.
And both of them trading a fair amount of
SCVs
workers. Yeah, 10 SCVs for 17 probes. Gumiho is going to fall behind a little bit in that department again, but you can still see that he's doubling his opponent effectively in army supply. Some of it is tied up into his production still, so they're not going to be on the field and operational. But he's still got such a menacing army, and he's starting to set things up here. He could just drop in towards the main base with the Liberators. Like you pointed out earlier, a handful of Marauders could just kill these buildings so quickly, but he's got another strike force now coming through the center of the map. The army here for Hero is still, you know, very good. He's got a ton of Storms to work with. But his backbone is still somewhat lacking. He needs more Zealots. He needs more of that beef to sort of cover for that and, you know, finish the job of all of those low HP units.
Okay, sieging up for this 5th base here. Storms ripping apart the bio. anti-air here, has to warp in some additional stalkers, and even the probe's getting done down. Meanwhile, the 4th base, so much bio here, going to clean up the defenses, clean up this entire expansion.
Nice pick up there. 28 workers falling in total. Cleans up the attack there towards the 4th base. And he's now going to swing around for that counter. But again, you know, for the longest time in this game, you can see Gumiho still doubling his opponent in the army supply, which of course is terrible for Hero. He is going to force the lift off here, as Gumiho has to fall back and reconsolidate some of his forces. Do you think he has enough? Can Storm save Hero in this instance? I don't know. He's got very little money to work with in the bank.
Okay, counterattack on the 5th base of Hero. Nexus goes down immediately with so many Marauders mixed in. Scans as well. Here come the Templars. Not enough energy for a Storm, not yet.
Oh my
the
God.
bio is so low, the Storms would have wrecked them. Here we go, the Storm's going to pick up all the bio, but too late, the damage was done. That being said, damage is also being done against Gumiho, having to pack off his 4th base as well, pulling his SCVs back. Still a lot of Storms in this army. He'll land some fantastic Storms.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah, but
3
what the
Immortals
supply?
still alive here.
Yeah, nothing to shoot up. Cute save there on the sentry, walking into its death under the Liberator, but with so many units coming back now, no Storm left. This is going to be the end of Hero. He's down to 33 supply. Last Immortal goes down, and that's a GG. Gumiho takes it.
That's what I love about TVP. It's such an aggressive matchup. You're shoving your Protoss all over the place, dropping the main, doing run-bys on the expansions.
Yeah, man, that was pretty nutty as that game, most certainly. All over the place, and I'm somewhat confused though, because Hero was always really far behind in supply, and he refused to spend that money on getting more of the gateway units. I wonder, like, what the thought behind that was. He heavily relied on Storm, right? But I feel as if, because in some instances of that, and how some of those engagements panned out, Gumiho actually split his army very well. Maybe not towards the very end of that game.
Yeah.
But at least in some of those later game fights, and like if you don't have anything that could clean up all of the buy, we get like a very similar fight as to where you trade armies, but then Terran can replace it a lot quicker than you can as Protoss, and then you just die.
Zealots are also really good when it comes to those split up fights in the late game, because Zealots, the weakness is that they're melee and you can kite them, but when you have those frantic drops and those run-bys, generally you're not microing that, or at least not microing that as well as you could be. So then, if you're not watching a fight and the Zealots, then the Zealots are incredibly powerful. So I think having Zealots there, you know, defending those expansions, even just a handful of them,
For sure.
it's very powerful.
Yeah, it would have definitely changed the outcome. Like leave a High Templar, a couple of Zealots, like you say. So, with one game up, guys, it's up to this guy now to swing things around. Can he do it? Make this the tie. It is Root's Hero. That's our blue Protoss in the bottom right.
In the top left, a very aggressive, very assertive Red Terran. It's Gumiho. Put that on his CV. Very assertive.
No, it's true. He is. Last game of tonight, I think.
Man, I'm getting sad now. Good for another 10 hours. That's a bluff. That's a bluff, Tenchi.
Let's just get right into the playoffs, boys. No sleep tonight.
No, it's been fun though.
Yeah,
and,
it's been a
what
ton
a
of
great
fun.
way to end. Probably the best series so far. At least that one game was my favorite game of the day, of the evening, depending on your time zone.
Yeah,
And now we're gonna have
it's 5:40 p.m. for me here. What time is it for you now, Callum?
10:40 p.m.
It's not late. Like 10:40 is what it would be for Snow after like one series. So
11:40. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've done 10. We've done 10 series today.
Wow. That's as many as I have fingers.
Yes, Callum. Good job, Callum. This is why your budget tempo, Callum. Okay, Proxy Stargate is going to come down here from Hero. And this is a very like Hero typical kind of thing to do. Just go for the proxy. Go hard.
It's really hard to scout that as well. Like, that's so close as well. The Oracle spawns in his automatically within attack range of the SCVs. That's brutal. Generally as well, proxy stargates are towards the main base side of the map because there's obviously going to be more workers on that side. So with the Reaper, if you're worried about proxies, you'll often scout the top near the main wall and you'll scout the bottom. The mind games.
Yeah, getting around here. See, getting the scout off is crucial here for Gumiho.
Oh no, it's going to be a mothership core rush.
Oh, okay, so he's coupling this with the pylon rush and then into an oracle. This is a pretty powerful attack. Actually coming Gumiho's way. Even the adept getting sent across. He should know.
Almost cancelling the siege. No, he does!
Oh my god! Half a
Can't
second!
lift that.
Okay,
That's
so big.
So much.
This is really smart. Hero is setting down a secondary pylon closer to that so that he can make sure that there's no chance for Gumiho to come down here with an SCV and get that constructed. That is actually super crucial at this stage, and if he can gun this down and force a cancel, he can just expand himself and make this into like a somewhat normal game from his point of view, but where Gumiho is behind by a base.
Cyclone first is really smart. Another Cyclone on the way as well. Cyclone is great versus pylons, it's good versus the oracles. The CC though is going to have to cancel it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's bought some time, but if he has another pylon overcharge ready to go, and if that goes down, then it's dead for sure. The Cyclone is focusing the pylon, he's going to have to use it.
There it is, there's the cancel.
Now, where's the Oracle? That's going to be very important. It's actually waiting for multiple Oracles. He wants to just go for the Marines, go for the Cyclones. He's going for a tech lab now, so that's Gumiho not producing anti-air from his factory.
Yeah. Well, I want to see if he's going to get he might just get a siege tank here, and then maybe switch things over, try to go for a Banshee perhaps. But Hero is stacking these oracles. He's going to get 3 in total before he even shows that he's got a Stargate on the map.
Oh no, he's pushing his Marines out for a drop. That could go so badly for Gumiho. Get some damage off as well into the Cyclone. He's got 3 oracles now. Does he commit?
He's still waiting. Are we going to see 4 oracles before he decides to go? Obviously, like you point out, that this is going to be huge. Like, this drop could just kill Hero, economically speaking, at least. But I don't know. There's no Widow Mine. There's no turret. These 3 oracles can kill everything on the ground. Moving up, though. He's not even in siege mode, and now stepping forward with these oracles. Here's the big reveal. He's just going to kill everything. SCV's getting pulled off the line. They're going to be irrelevant in this fight. There is a Viking. He needs to target that down, actually, with the Stalkers. And they're all getting surrounded and taken out here, but every single SCV will die.
Okay, but look at the probes. The Marines are doing the exact same. No Mothership Core here. He does have enough energy for war pins, but with 8 Marines and a medevac, this is going to turn into an absolute nuts game. 2 oracles still left, though. They can just go back and defend. Oh, he loses the war pins! The pylon went down. Wait. The Stalker's not going to be there. Gets 2 of them now, though. Okay, well, where are the oracles? They're still in the base of Gumiho.
He forced the Viking to land, and there's a second one that spawns. This Cyclone's here doing a ton of damage to the Stalkers as well. 2 SCVs to 3 probes. What is this game, Callum?
2 Stalkers in the main base of Hero. Gumiho actually dropping on top of the Stalkers.
Oh,
the
man.
medevac, it's still there for the healing, and he's focused that one down as he goes, but the Stalkers are so vulnerable. He's kiting this one. The Stalkers have more rage. He had to do this perfectly. No room for error. Oh, okay. 1 Stalker goes down.
And he gets it. GG!
GG! Oh my god, Tenchi, what a way to end today's cast.
Wow. Oh man, these are some of the like best games when you get them like this. So scrappy, just tooth and nail. Everything brought to the table.
About this being the best series? That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I think you were right, man. That was definitely the highlight for tonight. That was a lot of fun, guys. I had a blast today. So much fun with this tournament. That's the last set of this group, and it's the last set of the entire group stage, guys. What a way to go out. Truly with a bang. Thank you so much, Callum, for joining me here today, man. It's definitely been a pleasure. To anyone here who's not familiar with you, quickly just, you know, throw out some shoutouts there if you have any before we wrap things up here today.
Well, my YouTube channel is General's Gentleman. I cast a variety of different RTS games. I also have done a lot of reviews and RTS design video essays talking about RTS designer at deep level. I'm also the current lead designer for an RTS game called Ashes of the Singularity. That's similar to Supreme Commander. So yeah, that's me. Follow me on Twitter at GG the Machine. Hopefully you'll see me again on Tenchi's Twitch. It's always fun casting with you, and casting these high-level players is such a great experience. It's really humbling casting these guys after just watching them play so much.
Yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. So again, thank you so much for joining me here today. To all of you guys who've stuck with us for these 4 days, it's definitely been a grind. Thank you so much for your support. It's always a lot of fun to bring the StarCraft action to you and the international community. We are going to return on the 11th, I believe. October 11th, yes, that is correct. So in 4 days, guys, we will come back with the rounds of 12 of this tournament, the second season of the Masters Coliseum. $10,000 on the line. And to just quickly give you guys the full current standings, in the top 8 so far, we have Dark, Innovation, Classic, and Sue. And then in the rounds of 12, Dea, Solar, Hurricane, Impact, Laser, Rogue, Hero, and Gumiho. So with that said, we're going to wrap things up here, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the 11th. Cheerio.
See you guys.